I got us a paid assignment. Security detail for Oswald Eubank.
Who?
That kid from the park.
Oh, yeah.
$35 an hour.
How many hours?
1 a day.
That's respectable.
There's a few small things. Oswald took some of Tarwater's money. It looks like Stoney's come back to collect.
Oh, no way, dude. Stoney's a hoss.
Tarwater's coming after us anyway. Last night they farmed my yard and slashed my tires. My mom's wigging out. And they probably won't stop there since I sort of ran over their dog.
What? No way, dude. No.
He's coming after us anyway. This way, we get paid for it.
Coming after you.
Hi, I'm Alise Chaffins, and I'm here today with Jon Heder, star of Tapawingo, now available on video on demand. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jon. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you play Nate Skoog in this movie. Can you talk a little bit about what drew you to this role?
I thought it was, I just really enjoyed the whole script. I liked the character. I liked all the characters. I think that was one of the things that drew me, is that the writing in this script was like, oh, we're doing kind of one of those weird comedies where everybody has their own specific voice and yet they all sound like they belong in the same world, and every character is strong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about, was just like in working with this group, were you able to you came into it liking the script? Did you kind of like mess with that some with this, group of actors and everything?
You play around and you have fun while you're doing it. It's kind of one of those scripts where it's less about the changing the dialogue. There's been some comedies I work on where you and the castmates are encouraged to just change it up because it's not about the dialogue. It's more about the story they're telling and the situations. And this was definitely like, the dialogue is one of the characters. We don't want to mess around with the dialogue too much. We would make changes here or there, but we certainly played around in terms of how you portray that dialogue, how you're going to play off this moment.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I really appreciated about this, and I think this kind of like connects to other characters you've played, but Nate's this really offbeat, quirky guy, but he definitely knows who he is. Can you talk about creating that sense of like confidence in Nate?
That's one of the things that drew me the most to this character, is like, he is easily like, it's easy for the reader, the watcher, to see this character who is a little bit of a loser, and yet he doesn't see it that way. Right. And there is a confidence there that he actually is like, okay, he can pull this off, and he's cool about it. He doesn't feel like he's lesser than anybody else. And he doesn't feel that like pang of, I've got to, I talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk. I think to a certain element, he's like, no, I talk the talk, and I can walk the walk. I can pull this off. I can do these things. And he's very confident in the choices he makes. He's very confident about who he is, and he has no qualms with that.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about it in this, is just his ability to like see himself. And I think that kind of translates over to some of the other characters as well, like Will in particular. Can you just talk about like how you and Jay kind of work together with that duo in particular?
What I love is that, in a classic friendship, you kind of have still that kind of traditional back and forth, and kind of the dichotomy of these two characters. One is a little bit more confident, one is a little bit less confident, and he's the one who doesn't have his act together as well. And so it's an interesting friendship, because you do feel it, but a lot of the film, you kind of feel strained a little bit in that loss. It's going to end up in a fight, but you also know it's going to end up them kind of, splitting off, like realizing they've gotten to that point in their lives where they both need to take the next step into adulthood. They've been in adulthood for a while, but it's a bit arrested development. They're both kind of like acting like kids, and they both need to take that step away from each other and experience other things of adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the things too, is that the film captures not just like small town living, but kind of the way that living in a small town can kind of like, yeah, constrict you to some degree. And like the last shot is literally probably my favorite moment, is the sign for Colby.
Yeah.
Can you just talk, can you talk about, like creating that sense of small town beyond just like the spaces that inhabit there?
Well, I love shooting movies in small towns. I love shooting movies that take place in small towns. I think, the smaller the town, like anything, it's a setting, it's the environment, and the setting should always be a character in the film. And with small towns, it's easier to, I guess, unify the characters together. Like if they all feel like they belong there. And yeah, in a small town, it's really, it starts to make sense why everybody kind of acts the way they do. You see, like, hey, this is their world, and they don't see much beyond it. So the smallest things, maybe to us, having a bully, they're literally all adults. The tar waters, the bad guys, are adults who are, quibbling over, a small amount of money, and outside of their scope, it's peas and carrots. It's nothing. But here, to them, it's like, no, this is like life or death situations. And so it just heightens the conflict even more, and it heightens the stakes. Even if the stakes aren't that big, to the audience, we feel it. We jump in there, and we're like, oh dang, yeah, they're about to throw down on this kid, and you're like, this is silly and stupid, and you kind of know that as an audience of good audiences get that right away, but you get sucked into that world.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I think that's it. Is like, it manages to have this, both very small stakes kind of thing, but it feels as big as any kind of like major heist or, that kind of thing. It has that both, because, and I think the setting is a lot of what helps make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk some just about the actual filming in the town and like working in that space?
We shot most of it in Hopewell, Virginia, which was it. I mean, as soon as I arrived, I was like, oh, there's a reason you guys picked this place. It's a little bit stuck in time. It feels like it's plucked right out of the early 80s, and it hasn't, moved beyond that. But then we shot several scenes up in Richmond, Virginia. And weirdly, with my mullet and my mustache, I kind of blended in. I looked like one of the regulars there hanging around town. But again, it helps create that character, and you have that sense of like, we're here shooting the whole time. There's not much else to do here. So we're kind of stuck, breathing in and sipping the tap water that is, the town where you shoot in, and you start to get a feel for the people, the kind of place. And it helps you get into character. It helps, you and the rest of the cast and all the crew really kind of just own those, couple months that you're shooting and feeling like, all right, this is a flavor, and we're going to make sure everybody else tastes that flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. So as this is coming here to I guess it's on video on demand now. And so people can access this and watch this, especially with holiday and free time coming up and everything. Yeah. Can you just talk about like what you hope that an audience member will take from watching this?
I think, like anything, you just want them to have a good time. I think it's a very fun movie. The characters are great. It's colorful. It's like, it looks great. And I think it's easy to say around the holidays, it's like, oh, any movie is perfect. But, this is, while it takes place during the summer and it feels very much like a summer movie, it is also the kind of film, I think, that harkens back to a fun family film that everybody can, kind of sit around during the holidays and watch, because it is low stakes. You don't have to invest into high level drama or really confusing plot lines. It's pretty simple, and it's one I think could easily be one of those put it on repeat, rewatch over and over. Start to learn the lines, start to learn all the little tiny details that pop up after repeat viewings.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again for taking a few minutes to speak with me today. I really appreciate it. It's such a fun movie, and yeah, best of luck with that.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Yeah.